yogis, thank you so much for joining me again here today. This is week 6. It's been an incredible journey, and I really truly appreciate your efforts, your love, your dedication to this practice, and to yourself, to showing up for yourself. We are going to do some of the poses that you may be very familiar with or have seen, but I'd like to really focus on the alignment and the correct form of doing these poses. So we're going to start in child's pose. We did that in a few sessions ago. In your child pose, you want to bring your knees wide apart from each other, bring your big toes together. Remember, you always have the option of having the blanket under your knees, or you can take the blanket and put it between your hips and your heels. Whatever works best for you, so that you can stay in that child's pose for a few moments. As you come into your child's pose, see that your forehead can rest on the floor or on something. So maybe you need to put a block here, or maybe you need to take your blanket and put your forehead on top of your blanket. But wherever you are, let your forehead rest on something. So sometimes people like to stack their fingers on top of another and bring their forehead down onto their stacked fingers. Stay here for a few moments. Let the breath open up space in the backside body. Let your shoulders soften away from the ears. And as you stay here, with each inhalation, feel that you can sense your breath. Send your breath all the way to your tailbone. And with each exhalation, feel that the breath can expand and soften the hips. Inhaling through the nose, feel your breath all the way through the pelvic floor. And exhale, feel the softening around the low back. Inhaling through the nose, feel your breath all the way to the pelvic floor. And exhale, feel that you can soften through the back of your heart space between your shoulder blades. Inhale through the nose, all the way down the spine, to the tailbone. And exhale, soften through the back of the neck. Really feeling your entire backside body relax. Do that one more time, nice and slow. Inhaling through the belly. And feel your entire backside body softening, relaxing, as if you're receiving a beautiful massage on your back. Your next inhalation is going to lift the chest up, placing your hands flat on the floor. And then walk your feet a little bit, walk your knees behind your hips. So normally I have your knees directly under the hips. I want you to walk your feet behind the knees. And then as you do, walk your fingertips a little bit more forward. And begin to bring your chest and your forehead down towards the floor. So this is similar to child's pose, except that now your knees are 90 degrees underneath the hips. Your forehead is down on the floor. Your hands are firmly pressing onto the earth. Your elbows are lifted off the ground. Right? So in our child's pose, normally the elbows are down. This time the elbows and the forearms are lifted off the ground. As you energize your arms, bring the forearms towards each other as you're spiraling the triceps away from each other. So the forearms are spiraling towards each other as the triceps are moving away from each other. Arms are nice and energized. You're lifting the sitting bones up to the sky, Pull the belly in, so you're narrowing the waist and your spine is nice and long. This is called puppy pose or Anahata Asana. This is exactly how I want you to feel in your downward facing dog. Your spine is long, your belly is pulled in, your waist is narrowed, your arms are energized, you're pressing the earth away, lifting the sitting bones away from the head. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, and then slowly begin to release, coming back into your child's pose, or maybe you like to sit up. Shake your arms out if you need to, or if you're in your child's pose, you can take your hands behind you. Your arms are resting, nice and comfortable. Inhale and exhale. And then come back into your puppy pose or Anahata Asana. Bringing the forehead down, your arms are energized, pulling the belly in, waist is narrow, tuck your toes under, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, and then gently begin to lift the hips all the way up to the sky. Bend the knees deep, lifting the heels straight up to the sky. Let the back of the head go. So now we are in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'd like you to think about pressing your hands firmly onto the floor. As you do, spread your fingers away from each other. Spiral the forearms towards each other as the triceps spiral away from each other. Lift the hips up, lift the heels up, bend the knees deep. Pull the belly in, narrow the waist, the sitting bones lifting towards the sky. As you press the earth away, you lift the sitting bones up a little bit more. So some of us tend to really lean forward like this, where we're arching our back. I want those of you that are feeling like you're arching your back to imagine I have my hand on your low back. Feel into that space. So pull the belly in a little bit more. Some of you tend to round through the back. Some of us tend to round the upper back. So if that's your tendency, let the shoulders move away from the ears and then soften through the heart space. We all have a tendency to do one thing or another, so see that your entire back is nice and long and straight. If you need to pull the belly in a little bit more, do that. If you need to soften the heart space, do that. But have both arms nice and energized as you're lifting the sitting bones up towards the sky. Bend the knees as deep as you need to so that the hips can lift up. Inhale and exhale. Come down on your knees, back into your child's pose. Back into your child's pose and just notice for a moment how that feels in your body. It's a very energizing pose, but at the same time, it should be relaxing. So if you feel any pressure in your wrist, I suggest that you lean back a little bit more so you're not leaning too much on the wrist. If you've had any kind of trauma or injury in the wrist, you can always do that same pose on your forearms or on your elbows. That's called dolphin pose. But really the intention is to have as much weight away from the wrist, so not have too much weight on the wrist. Where you're pressing the earth away, your arms are becoming more straight and you're lifting the sitting bones, lifting the spine up nice and long. So take one more deep breath into this pose. Come in all the way back up, sit tall and extend both legs straight out in front of you. Take your blanket, please, and put your blanket underneath your hips so you can sit on the edge of your blankets with your legs straight out in front. Bring your hands right next to you. We've done this pose before. This is called Dandasana. Energize your legs, flex your feet, lift the chest up. So you notice how you have a kind of a 90-degree angle between the hips on the hips. This is the same format as child's pose, or I'm sorry, as downward facing dog, except that your arms are stretched overhead. So you want that same type of lift. Your spine is tall, the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky, chest is open. So imagine you're just like this, except your arms are reaching overhead and touching the ground. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. And then bend the knees once again, taking your blanket to the side. Come back into your puppy pose or Anahata Asana. Bringing your forehead down to the floor. Walk your fingertips away from your shoulders. Lift the hips straight up to the sky. Energize the arms, pressing down firmly to the base of all 10 fingers. As you rotate the shoulders away from each other, your forearms are moving towards each other. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. And then begin to lift your forehead off the ground. Walk your hands in just a little bit. And lift your hips all the way back up into downward facing dog. Bend the knees deep. Lift the heels off the ground. Press down. Press the earth away as you straighten your spine tall. Pull the belly in. Narrow the waist. Your sitting bones lifting up towards the sky. Remember which area you need to soften. Some of you need to soften behind the heart space if you're rounding through the back. Some of you need to pull the belly in and really reach the sitting bones up. Inhale and exhale. Bend the knees deep. Very nice. And then last exhalation. Remember Dandasana that we were sitting on our heels. Can you on our buttocks? Can you create that same feeling of Dandasana in this pose? Inhale and exhale. Bring your knees all the way down to the earth and sit back into child's pose. And then inhaling, lifting the chest all the way back up. Extend the legs straight. Sit back on your blanket. Legs are straight in front of you. Good. Sit tall. Flex the feet. Bend the knees slightly. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side. Exhale, take your arms underneath your thighs. Bring your rib cage to your thighs. So think as if your rib cage and your thighs are best friends and they haven't seen each other in a long time. They've been social distancing. You want to come here and they finally are able to give each other a hug. Allow them, these are best friends, they want to stay together for a long, long time. So bring your rib cage as close as you can to your thighs. Take a nice deep breath in. You can stay here for as long as you like to, or you can slowly begin to extend the heels away from your hips as you bring your forehead down towards the floor or towards your shin. But wherever you go, keep the back nice and long. So most of us tend to want to round the back. Make sure that the spine is long as your rib cage stays on your thighs, and then extend the legs away from your hips and let the head go. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel the extension in the back of the neck. Exhale, release the head all the way down. This is a variation of Paschimottanasana or forward fold. Paschimottanasana or forward fold. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. And inhale. And then slowly begin to come all the way back up. Sit into your Dandasana, staff pose. Draw your knees towards your chest. And then slowly come on all the way up to the top of your mat. Take a big step back with your left foot. Turn your toes in, your heels out. Bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, begin to lift your chest up towards the sky. And exhale, fold from your hips. So again, keeping the spine long. Think about how you were feeling in your puppy pose. So keeping that spine long, fold forward from your hips. Your hands can come down to the earth. Elongate the spine first, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. This is a wide-legged forward fold, or Tasarita Padottanasana. I want you to think about shifting your weight forward. So most of us tend to lean back. I'd like you to see if you can lean forward a little bit, shifting more of your weight to the front of your foot as opposed to your heels. Your hands can start walking in between your legs, reaching back behind you. Or you can bring your hands to the outside of your ankles or your heels. But wherever you are, see that the shoulders are moving away from the ears. So create enough space between the shoulders and the ears by letting the elbows go out to the side. Shift your weight forward as you lift through the inseam of the leg. Lifting through the arches, lifting through the middle of the knees, the mid-knees, and then lifting through the inner thighs. Inhale. And exhale. You can pull your torso through the legs a little bit deeper if you like to. And then inhale, slowly begin to come all the way back to the center. Bend your knees deep, bringing your hands to your hips and lift the torso up. If you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, you can draw the chest towards your sternum just a little bit. Pause here for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in. Then stepping forward to the top of your mat, and you're going to come all the way back down on your back. As you come all the way down on your mat, draw your right knee towards your chest, extend the left leg straight. Take your right leg straight up to the sky. You can interlace your fingers behind the calf or your hamstring. If you have a towel or a strap, this would be a great place to use it. If you have a strap, you can strap it underneath the ball of your foot. Take a nice deep inhalation, nice long exhalation. Remember that you want to lengthen that right side as much as the left side. So the right side wants to crunch up. I'd like you to see if you can create length on that right side as well. Nice deep inhale, nice long exhale. Maybe slowly begin to draw that right leg a little bit closer to your chest. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly bend that right knee a little bit closer. Draw the knee towards your, bypass the rib cage so you can draw the knee towards your right armpit. Stay there for a moment. Inhale, exhaling, releasing. Put your right foot on top of your left thigh. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, and then gently begin to draw that right knee across your chest, across your body. You can take your right arm out to the side. Take your gaze over to the right fingertips if you like to, into a nice twist. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Draw that knee a little bit closer to your chest. Bring the knee to the center. And then extend that right leg flat. Inhale, draw the left knee towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind, around the shin. Extend that left leg straight up to the sky and grab wherever you can. So it could be behind your hamstring or behind your calf. If you have a strap, loop the strap behind the ball of that foot. Inhale and exhale, draw that leg a little bit closer to your chest. And then soften the shoulders. So make sure your shoulders are always moving away from the ears. Inhale. Notice if your chin is jutting up towards the sky, draw the chin down a little bit so the back of the neck is long. Exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And then bend that knee. This time maybe bypass the rib cage. Bring the knee a little bit closer to your left armpit. And then putting that left foot flat on top of your right thigh, take your right hand to the outside of that left knee and begin to take that left knee across your body. Open up the left arm out to the side, take a nice deep breath in, exhale, maybe your gaze goes over to the left fingertips. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly bringing that knee back to the center. Draw both knees towards your chest this time. Rock a little bit side to side. You can bring the bottom of your feet towards each other. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Bringing your heels a little bit closer to your groin. Rock a little bit side to side. And then slowly, if you like to, take your outside edges of your feet up towards the sky and bring your knees closer to your armpits. You're coming in happy baby pose. Stay here for a moment, rock a little side to side. If you like to, you can begin to straighten that right leg, bend the right knee, straighten the left leg. Bend the left knee, maybe straighten both legs out to the side, just like you did in your forward fold, your Pasarita Padottanasana. This is the supine pose. Let the legs go straight up, out to the side. Open the legs wide so you feel a nice stretch on the inner thighs, outer hips. Inhale. And exhale, slowly begin to bend your knees. Bring the bottom of your feet together, your feet flat on the floor. Let your knees open wide to the side. Bring your left hand on your heart space, your right hand on your belly. You're in your supine butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale through all the way down to the belly. Feel your belly expand. Continue your breath. Feel the chest expand. And as you exhale, slowly begin to empty the belly. Continue exhaling until you empty the chest. And do this a few more times with your own breath. Your inhalation expands the belly. Feel maybe even the hand move away a little bit from your navel, and as you continue inhaling, feel your chest expand. As you exhale, feel the belly empty and the chest empties. And a few more times on your own. Inhaling, the belly expands. You continue to breathe in, feel the chest expand. And empty the belly, empty the chest. You can stay here in your Supta Baddha Konasana, or perhaps begin to extend your legs flat, come into your final pose, Shavasana. Make your Shavasana as comfortable as you like to. You can put the blanket underneath your head, underneath your knees, or wherever you feel like you need. You can even put the blanket on top of you, but allow your palms to be open, your heels sinking into the earth. Feel the back of your skull completely resting on the floor. Feel your shoulder blades down your back, completely resting on the floor. Feel your hips softening. completely resting on the floor. Feel the ground coming up and supporting you all the way from your heels, through your hips, through your upper back, through the back of your skull. Notice how easily you can rest. Notice how comfortably you can rest on the floor. And let your breath be completely natural. Let your eyes sink into the sockets, the tongue heavy, the throat soft, cheeks are soft. Then open and close your jaws to make sure the jaws are soft. And let yourself feel completely supported and relaxed. As you rest here in your final pose in your Shavasana, allow yourself to feel your body all the way from your toes, through the ankles, through the knees. Feel all the sensations moving through the body, from the hips to the belly, to your shoulders, to the top of your head. Feel how your body is alive, feeling all the sensations. And give yourself a huge gratitude, love, and compassion. To be here, to be present, and to be alive. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this practice with you. You can stay here for as long as you like to in your Shavasana. I'm going to sign off and I'll see you next time. Namaste.